So I found this post on the Pokemon investing subreddit that I wanted to share with you all. You know, the market may be slowing down, but one thing that isn't is scalping. It's still happening. And this may have been a little bit of an older video just because this was a Costco drop, which I don't think we've gotten super recently. This may have been from maybe like a couple months ago when I remember this product coming out. But maybe they did some restock, not sure. So this is just a video. It's only 1 minute long. I want to show you guys. It's kind of interesting when you actually analyze this video, what type of people are really scalping, and some things to think about when watching this video. So what do we think about this? I saw this in a Pokemon group within the Chicagoland area. This happened in a Costco in Yorkville, Illinois, or Yorkville, Illinois. Not my video. So let's just watch this. So you can see this is a Costco. Look at all the people, lined up for, as you can see here, Surging Sparks bundle. Like I said, if I had to guess, I feel like this is a little bit an older video, but maybe like they did a restock recently. Maybe, I'm not sure though. So it looks like there is already a worker there because they probably knew what was going to go on. Who's seemingly going to maybe try to distribute the product. Okay, he's just like sharing it around, just giving people, I guess, a couple of each. Now, what the heck is this? I guess maybe this person got here before everyone else and just started dumping everything in the cart, seemingly. So maybe, and there's also some prismatic here too. So, yeah, maybe they didn't know that it was going to be this bad because it looks like that this person got there before the worker did and, dumped all the stuff. And it looks like maybe they're having a talk with this guy. Looks like he's taking some stuff. Or maybe they just put it in a cart. I don't know. This guy's like loading up. Maybe they put it in a corner and are distributing it, or I'm not sure. Maybe the audio would be helpful, but I don't have it on. So it looks like he's putting them in the box that came in. And if you look here, what's interesting is if you actually look at the average age of people in this line, right? The average age has to be like 40, It is kind of interesting. Even here, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell because you can't actually see anybody. But the average age here is very high. But I mean, you have to, I guess, assume some things here. Like, obviously, this is probably maybe middle of the week. Kids are not going to be out shopping, right? So it is just going to be adults. What is kind of interesting to see that, the average age here is pretty high. But like I said, I mean, you have to think about the fact that, okay, kids are not shopping at Costco especially, right? But that is one thing to notice. One thing I also wanted to talk about is, I've seen all the time on these subreddits, I only invest at MSRP. Guys, when you say that, and you know what, you can do what you want to do, right? I mean, it's up to you with what decisions you make. But when you say you're investing at MSRP, you're basically at that point just scalping. It is what it is, right? Even though you're not flipping, it's pretty much the same evil concept of buying, from a retail shelf and not opening it. Regardless if you sell it or hold it, it's kind of the same thing. Obviously, some people argue it's different because you're not flipping it for profit immediately. But I would say if you're buying something right now at retail and you're bragging about it or something, that's just kind of weird to me. And I see it all the time. You're just scalping. And like I said, I mean, do what you want. I mean, I have no power over you, right? You make your own decisions, what you want to do in your life. But that's what it is. So, I mean, I'm not one to really care about all these terminologies. I mean, heck, I even get called a scalper for buying on, Facebook Marketplace. I mean, but if you're directly going to a store, at a retail store, with the intention of investing, and buying at MSRP, you're just scalping. Obviously, this wasn't a big problem when the market was not very strong. So some may argue I'm just doing what I've always done, and hey, I guess that's fair enough. But especially now, I'm not trying to get caught up on a subreddit like this, and it's kind of, I mean, you look at this, it's honestly kind of sad. Like, think about it this way. This is what I guess humanity has come to, lining up for Pokemon cards and having to deal with all these people. And yeah, it's just not that great of a sight. It is kind of sad. So that's just, I guess, something I wanted to mention here with this video is, people that are, scalping Pokemon are usually older people, like middle-aged people, and also people that, talk about investing at MSRP. You're pretty much just scalping, but hey, it is what it is. If you do it, I mean, no one can really stop you. I mean, it's not like it's illegal or anything, but that is pretty much what it is. I would say the only argument and this all gets to the nitty gritty of terminology, scalper, who's a scalper, who's not. But I would say the argument that, buying on the secondary market really isn't scalping is because the scalping was already done. So in that way, there's no, I mean, unless unless for example, like some products like Journeys Together, Black Bolt, White Flare, like people return them to some of these stores, which, I mean, you're technically not even supposed to, but some of them, were able to. I mean, other than that, the damage is already done with scalping. So whether, I buy it to, hold on to, or somebody buys it to open, I mean, you're paying above retail, which is the whole argument about people, clearing out shelves, because that was the opportunity for somebody to open it at retail, which is obviously a much lower price for some things. So that's the only argument I can see with, buying on the secondary market not being really, the whole scalping thing, because you are paying a marked up price, and people that, only want to buy retail are not going to be affected because the damage is already done. So let's just read some of the comments here and see what some people have to say. Bum behavior is what I think about. They always look the same. Okay, you guys do realize that this sub isn't much different than these people, right? Haha, investors. There are 124,000 people in the sub. Okay, this video are silent majority of investors. They lurk and find drops and do this behavior. I mean, it's true. I mean, some people do that, and like I said, I do think, if you're going out there buying in, at retail and holding on to it, I think it's the same thing as scalping, to be honest. I mean, I don't know if people even care about, terminologies and what they get named, but I personally think that's pretty much the same thing. But yeah, should be one per person. Why they just don't give out tickets, I'll never understand. Our warehouse does, so I guess maybe it's by a store. Can't wait for the crash to get here. Okay, how long have we been hearing that for? Blast his socials. Average age of 50. Okay, yeah, I mean, we saw that. All our bums. I was there today. Okay. So it looks like it's a mixture. See, this is what I'm saying. It's like, it's hard to tell who's here trying to scalp, who's here just trying to, be a wholesome collector and enjoyer, right? Because you see all these people, it's very possible there's a lot of people here that just want to open at retail, because obviously there's people complaining not being able to buy. Therefore, they're going to, obviously when stuff happens, they're going to try to buy it at retail. So it's really hard to tell who's buying, maybe for their kids to open, who's buying to resell. It's hard to, right? But that is one thing to note. When people say, "Oh, blast all these people's socials," I mean, unless somebody, I mean, you guys can maybe watch this video. I don't know if this was the person that's trying to clear out the whole shelves. It kind of seems like it, but I mean, I'm not watching audio, so I don't know. But it is hard to tell who's scalping, who's not. I guess the most obvious way to tell is if someone has a whole cart full. But other than that, if someone has a few boxes, honestly, you can't even really tell. But just want to share this video with you all. Like I said, it might be a little bit of an older video because of what's on the palette, but who knows. But that's all I want to share in this video. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.